Bueno, muchas gracias a todos por asistir a esta presentación muy, muy buena, muy importante. Tenemos el privilegio de tener con nosotros a Joel English, quien nos va a estar presentando un poco en inglés sobre las ventajas y todas las oportunidades que nos presenta estudiar en Cape Breton University. Va a ser una presentación basada en el contenido que tiene Joel. Si tienen comentarios, por favor, pueden dejarlo en los comentarios, ¿ok? La grabación luego será compartida con todos ustedes. Mi nombre es Cristian Rueda, del equipo de Yaicos. Y bueno, este ha sido uno de los webinars más solicitados, ya que Cape Breton gana y gana y gana popularidad por todo lo que involucra a la ciudad, los excelentes programas que tienen. Así que, without further ado, Joel, please go ahead.
Thank you so much for having me, Christian. Yeah, so my name is Joel. I'm from Cape Breton University. Not only am do I work for Cape Breton University, I am also a graduate of Cape Breton University from both my undergraduate degree and my master's degree. I graduated in 2013 with my MBA. So it's been a little while since I've been a student, but I've been a part of the university ever since. So Cape Breton University is located on beautiful Cape Breton Island, which is an island in the province of Nova Scotia, which is in the easternmost part of Canada. We're routinely ranked as one of the most beautiful islands to visit in Canada, and one of the most beautiful islands in the world as well. So because we're such a beautiful location, we're always a very popular tourism destination with people wanting to travel all over the island. The university itself is located in the city of Sydney. So the island is around, it's a relatively small island, about 120,000 people. In the city of Sydney is where most of the people live, which is a population of about 80,000 people, which is this kind of really nice, beautiful sized city because it's very welcoming and very, very nice. You have access to all this beautiful nature, while at the same time, it is a full-size city. Like, we do have a public transit system. Where I live in the middle of downtown Sydney, I can walk in one direction and be at the movie theater, the shopping mall, the bus station. I can get Thai food, sushi, and a lot of different other foods from around the world. Go see local theater, and then if I walk in the other direction, I'm in beautiful nature. I'm near the beach. So it's not that it's a small city, it's that it's more compact. So it has all of the things that you'd want in a city, while at the same time being a third of the cost of living as Toronto, a third of the cost of living of Vancouver. What I've been noticing lately is that when students come into Cape Breton, they start, they look for a place to rent, and then really quickly they're saying, hold on a minute, I can actually afford to buy this house. So the cost of living is really incredible, and also the lifestyle is really great. The motto of Cape Breton Island is actually 100,000 welcomes. And this is because across Canada, if you ask anyone to tell you anything about Cape Breton Island, they're going to tell you that it's a really welcoming place. It also has beautiful culture with music and theater and all of that.
That sounds great. So it sounds like a perfect place to come to Canada for the first time to study, for sure.
Exactly. It's a really nice place. It's a really nice way to get introduced to Canada, because it's really welcoming, because we do have excellent jobs for students that are coming in to study. They want to get integrated into the community as quickly as possible. They want to get some sort of employment, and what we're noticing recently over the last kind of 10 years or so in the province of Nova Scotia, because we have actually an older population than the rest of the country on average, we're noticing that students, when they graduate, are actually having more access to good middle class employment, because the older generation are retiring.
Wow.
So we're ending up in this situation where students actually have better job prospects for getting into those, managerial positions within companies.
So the demographics, it's in its favor. That's great. Yeah.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. The demographics in Nova Scotia are in your favor. And I know one question that's always asked about studying in Canada is about the weather, because if you see movies or cartoons or anything like that that depict Canada, it's usually shown as a really cold place to live. Of course, there are parts of Canada that are really cold. I'm not going to point fingers and say this province is cold and this province is cold, but Nova Scotia, on average, is Canada's warmest province. The reason for this, the province is actually it's a peninsula in the Atlantic Ocean. So because we're kind of constantly surrounded by ocean currents, our average temperature is warmer than the average temperature across Canada. That doesn't mean we don't get snow. It doesn't mean we don't get cold temperatures. I'm actually talking to you right now from home because it is a snowy day. But honestly, we get less snow than the average Canadian city. I often say that I think I only picked up my snow shovel 3 times last year, that we do still get snow, but it doesn't really stick around in Nova Scotia as long as it does in other parts of Canada.
Okay.
I absolutely love our summers. We are very much a beautiful summer and fall destination where there's lots of different, we actually have, I think 3 of Canada's top 20 golf courses in Cape Breton. We have lots of different beach destinations. Some of the best beaches that you've ever seen are in and around Cape Breton. Because we are an island, we actually have, and also in the middle of our island, we have Canada's largest saltwater lake, the Bredor Lakes, which is actually a UNESCO designated research facility.
Wow.
So yeah, and that's actually something that some of our students get to participate in and get to explore and be a part of through our biology program as well.
That's fantastic. So all in all, don't be afraid of these of the weather. Cape Breton offers you like a great mild winter time. It won't be like it will be still cold as Noah was saying, but it's not that cold as other cities.
Yeah, exactly. So we are a relatively small university in comparison to some other larger universities in Canada. We're only around 5,500 students. That of course fluctuates. During the pandemic, we went down to maybe 4,500 to maybe 5,000 students. I expect in the next year, we're going to be back up to around 5,500 or maybe 6,000 students. Because of that, you really get to have that close personal experience with getting to know your professors, getting to know the staff. Like I said, I am an alumni of the university, but even years after graduating and years after taking classes, the professors and the staff of the university know me by name.
Wow.
Like even just walking around in the community, because the professors, not only the professors, but also the staff. So like the staff in like the bookstore or the staff in like the finance department get to know the students on a name basis, because they care about the students and they care about the job that they do, but also because it's a small university, there's that opportunity to form a personal relationship. We do have students from all around the world, from over 60 different countries. So you'll get a really diverse experience in your classroom, which is really important for getting to not only learn from your instructors, but also learning from the other students, learning from their experience and their cultural background. We're also one of Canada's first carbon neutral campuses, which means we have an ethical and an environmentally conscious approach to operating the school. So we try to make sure to have a personal touch as well as an environmentally conscious approach to running a university.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you.
Of course, we do have different study options. So depending on what you're looking for, we may have an option that fits exactly with what you're looking for, whether it be an undergraduate degree, like a 3-year or a 4-year degree program, a post-diploma or a post-degree, which means we recognize your previous studies and allow you entrance into a degree program in a later year of study. And we also have post-baccalaureate options, which is those postgraduate diplomas. So recognizing your prior education and building upon the knowledge that you learned in your previous degrees. And then we also do offer master's degree programs as well. And if you have previously studied in a degree program that doesn't necessarily have a post-degree option, we do recognize transfer credits. So if you have previously studied in a college or a university, we can assess the credits that you have taken and give you credits towards your degree at CBU.
Wow, that's a great advantage for international students for sure. Thank you for letting us know, Joel.
So this is the first school that I want to talk about. This is the Shannon School of Business. It's a really beautiful facility. It was built in 2014 or 2015. It's just like the most beautiful building on campus. The classrooms are excellent. The facilities are absolutely beautiful. And it's where all of our business programming is taught, which would be our Bachelor of Business Administration and our Bachelor of Hospitality Tourism Management for our undergraduate programs. For our BBA, that can be completed in 3 years or 4 years with majors and concentrations in marketing, supply chain management, accounting, and more. So we really try to make sure to have programs that are accessible and help students with their employment, with making sure that they have skills for a modern business environment. Obviously, over the last 2 years during the COVID-19 pandemic, we've seen a lot of issues with supply chain management, with shipping the vaccine around the world, with issues of shortages of supplies for building materials and things like that. So we really make sure to have these skills available for students so that they can learn about a modern business environment. And I always like to talk about how excellent our accounting program is. It's actually the accounting program in Atlantic, Canada, that offers the maximum number of transferable credits to become a chartered accountant in Canada, which is, if you're studying accounting, kind of the premier job that you can have is a CPA, a chartered professional accountant. We actually have a really high success rate for students graduating from our program to becoming a CPA. So obviously, for one reason, it's that our accounting faculty are brilliant and great. And the other reason is that we have these excellent pathways and these excellent relationships with major accounting firms in Canada.
Wow.
And accounting is an excellent career. It's not for me. I'm not a numbers person, but if you have the right sort of mind to work with numbers, accounting is a great career for you.
Yeah, for sure. And it's important the students to get the idea that the education in Canada, especially in Cape Breton University, is not about just studying. It's about that accessing this professional career, planning your professional career and having access to those professional opportunities once you graduate.
Exactly. And a lot of what is valuable about studying in a university in Canada is making those connections. So when there are things like career fairs or lunch with the professional programs, which we always have throughout the year, those are really good things to participate in. Or if you have, most of our programs have the opportunity to do some sort of job placement or internship. Those are really valuable things to do so that students can make those connections. And like you said, it's not just about graduating with high grades, but it's about building those connections along the way.
Yes.
And that's a really big part of our hospitality and tourism management program, because it has these built-in paid internships where students get to work in really interesting and beautiful destinations, either around Cape Breton or anywhere else in the world. Students can work in the hospitality and tourism industry and make connections, get paid, and learn those on-the-job skills. And that's a 3-year degree program, and it really prepares students for working in the hospitality and tourism sector.
Great.
Of course, we also do have our postgraduate programs in the School of Business. For our 2-year post-baccalaureate diploma programs, we offer supply chain management, business analytics, and healthcare management. So these are really designed to build on your previous knowledge from your bachelor's degree that you have already taken. So if you already have skills in, say, engineering or law, this would help you, say the business management program would help you develop those skills so that you can run your own law firm or engineering firm. The business analytics program is designed to teach you about the analytical and data side of running businesses in Canada, which is the idea of business analytics and data management has previously really been for those large tech companies like Google and Facebook. But what we're seeing now is even smaller and medium-sized businesses are using analytical and data approaches to running their organizations. And healthcare management, this is one that's fairly new to the university, and it's been very much of interest. What we're seeing is when people think about working in the healthcare industry, they often think about working as a doctor or as a nurse, but what they're not thinking about is the people who run the hospital or run the nursing home from the back office, the people who are running the human resources department, the finance department of these large organizations. So the healthcare management program really prepares people to be ready to work in the offices of the hospital or of the nursing home in order to make these organizations work. And this is actually a really excellent career for people who want to work in that industry, but not necessarily on the front lines. Like I said, I'm not a numbers person. I'm also not a person who has the desire to work in a medical field. I think one of the most terrifying careers would be nursing or a doctor, because it's not the sort of career that's built for me. If I was looking to work in the healthcare industry, I want to be the person in the back office making sure that the human resources was working or that the finance was working or something like that.
Those programs are very innovative and very, as you were saying, with a different approach that will definitely offer something for international students. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. And like I said, they do offer a work term component. So the way the program works is 3 semesters of classwork and then 1 semester of either work term or a research paper. And that really gives students the opportunity to learn from a practical point of view and not just the classroom point of view. And then, of course, we have our MBA program, which is a 2-year master's degree, and it's actually in the field of community economic development. So it is a traditional master's degree where you do take organizational behavior and accounting and finance and all of those traditional business courses, but you do take some really interesting courses in the field of community economic development. This is the program that I graduated from, and some of the most interesting courses I took were things like economic geography and economic development. So it's these understandings of how business environment works from like a not-for-profit perspective or from an economic development perspective. So for people who want to work in that development field or want to work in business government relations, this is an excellent program for those people.
Wow. Again, I mean, it's just like a very innovative option for the traditional MBA that could definitely improve or enhance the students' curriculum. Their CV would be like a very standout if they pursuing these sort of careers in NGOs or governmental.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. Yeah.
Our School of Science and Technology. I don't want to keep talking about the buildings on campus, but this is also one of my favorite buildings. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
The top floor of this building is all beautiful research facilities, like world class. And then the bottom floor is lecture theaters and offices. But like you can see that there's a little coffee shop in the back there. This is where, when I'm on campus, if I want to meet with someone or if I want to just have a moment to have a coffee alone, this is a beautiful spot on campus to go and chat with people and meet with people, because it as you can see there, it has this green wall up top. That's actually a living wall. So those are living plants that are kind of recirculating the air, and the roof is slanted to bring in water systems to run the toilets and things like that, because it's actually a completely carbon neutral building that was built with all this incredible environmentally friendly technology.
Well, it looked fresh and bright for sure. I like it.
It's so nice. I love being in that building. So in the School of Science and Technology, we have two different engineering programs. The first one I want to mention is our Bachelor of Engineering Technology, which is it's offered as a 2-year diploma or a 3-year degree. But for students who have a previous engineering or science-based background, they can complete this in 2 years as a post-degree format, which means we recognize their previous studies and can help them to finish this program in as short a period of time as possible. And students can focus in electronics and controls, petroleum, environmental, or chemical engineering. Then, of course, we do have our traditional Bachelor of Engineering for somebody who wants to become a civil engineer. They study 2 years at CBU and then transfer to Dalhousie University for their final 2 years to complete their program.
I remember, Joel, sorry, that you mentioned once to me, like the transferring these credits to Dalhousie is a very unique option that they will have at CBU, because Dalhousie, maybe it has changed, but at that moment it was very hard to transfer your credits directly to Dalhousie, am I right? Especially in this Bachelor in Engineering.
If you're looking to transfer credits from like an international university, from a university in another country, Dalhousie may not recognize those credits as easily.
Yes.
So transferring your credits from CBU, you get the full 2 years automatically. It's an automatic transfer program. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And also, the students that study at CBU for those first 2 years, they do have a bit of an advantage with having those math courses and those engineering courses in those first 2 years in a much smaller classroom. Dalhousie is a very large university, and the first couple of years of their engineering program, you do have the opportunity to get a little bit lost in a large classroom, whereas at CBU, we really try to make sure that students don't fall between the cracks.
All right. Yeah. Awesome.
And then for students that want to study in the field of science, biology, chemistry, mathematics, psychology, we do have 3-year and 4-year degree options for them through our Bachelor of Science. This is a really great pathway if somebody is looking to go on to studying their Masters of Science, or looking to go on to go to medical school. This is the pathway for those students.
All right.
Then there's our School of Arts and Social Sciences. So we have a few different options for students there. Our Bachelor of Arts, which can be done in 3 years or 4 years. Like I said, this is the program that I completed because I'm a political science nerd. I love talking about politics. So I studied the political science degree there, and just absolutely brilliant faculty who absolutely know their stuff. And courses like philosophy and psychology, those are the sorts of courses that, like, honestly, if I could be back in a classroom, I would be in a philosophy classroom tomorrow immediately, because the philosophy and political science faculty at CB are absolutely brilliant. For students that want a shorter undergraduate program, we do offer a 2-year diploma in public administration. So this is kind of like a short political science program that's designed to help people work in the Canadian public sector. in Canada, actually, the largest employer in the country is government. Now that's, you know, federal government plus provincial government plus local government. If you look at, you know, the because our education system, our healthcare system, our military, our policing, those are all public employees. So if you add that all together, that is the largest employer in the country. So if you're looking to work in that public sector, this sort of public administration program is a really good first step for entering the public sector.
Oh, that's great. So as you were mentioning, you're lucky that you found the right program at the right place, you know, in the right city, which is great. And this is something that both Yaicos and the CBU team will work together to help international students be sure that the investment that they're doing in their program will be something that will be very meaningful and fulfilling for the career, you know. So that excitement that you're feeling, this is the kind of excitement that we'd like to feel from our international students. Yes.
Yeah, that's such a great way to put it. Like
Yeah.
we're not trying to find students to fill programs. We're trying to make sure that the student that is going to be in the program is in the right place for them.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, that's what you're an expert at, and that's why I appreciate working with you so much.
Yeah, thank you. With you, we're a good team.
Yeah, and then of course we have our Bachelor of Arts in Community Studies program, which is it's kind of like a Bachelor of Arts program, but it's really designed for people to who want that kind of hands-on practical experience and that practical knowledge. It's really designed to do a lot of community studies work, which is applying your studies to real world scenarios. And we have really interesting programs within this, which are sport and physical activity leadership, applied theater, and music. So the way these programs work is they have a lot of hands-on and practical experience. And one of the popular pathways for the BACS program is working in kind of like the field of social work. So social work in Canada is a master's program. So using the BACS as an entrance point for that program is a really good way to learn about practical, hands-on community experience.
All right.
And then the last program in our School of Arts is our Bachelor of Arts in Science and Environment, which is a way for students to choose both an arts major and a science major with this focus in environmental studies. So for example, if somebody wanted to study philosophy and biology, that's kind of this interesting combination, which gives students a great perspective on environmental studies. So it's a way for those students who don't necessarily know if they want to study arts or science, but they know that they want to have a really well-rounded knowledge base and be prepared for the growing sector that is the environmental sector. As we see, not only in Canada, but around the world, environmental studies and environmental sciences is becoming more and more important as government policies and institutional policies become more and more environmentally aware.
Awesome.
Then the last school that I want to mention is our School of Education and Health. And the degree that I wanted to talk about is our Bachelor of Health Sciences in Public Health. Of course, over the last couple of years with the COVID-19 situation, we have seen a lot more talk and discussion around public health efforts. So in the before COVID times, we would have to explain what public health was, what we meant when we talked about public health management. But now that everyone kind of understands that public health policies kind of affect every part of our society, we're seeing that there's been a lot more interest in studying public health. And we're actually one of only 6 universities in Canada that offer a public health credential. So this is a great job, a great career for people who want to work in food safety, communicable disease control, OH&S. And what's really great about this program is that we offer a post-degree pathway. So for students who are looking to start directly from high school, this is a 4-year degree program. But for people who have a previous health science background, say someone who has previously studied nursing or previously studied dentistry or something like that, we do offer a 2-year post-degree pathway for those students. So you can get this degree program completed in 2 years and be accredited as a Canadian public health officer, which is an excellent career. And as we're seeing moving forward, much more in demand. And it has always been an in-demand career, but now that we're seeing much more interest from government in investing in public health practices, we're seeing that this is a very in-demand career.
So Joel, for example, if someone in Latin America or Spain, they do have a background in dentistry, you know, and okay, they transfer their credit and go straight to the 2-year post degree on for the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're essentially starting in year 3. So the way it works, if they start this program as a post degree, they get to skip year 1 and year 2 entirely. They're starting in year 3, and then they'll have the degree completed in 2 years, and they'll have that qualification of being a Canadian public health officer.
Thank you for clarifying. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So obviously, as I said, we have students from 60 different countries all around the world. We really like to celebrate a lot of different cultures on our campus, have a lot of different clubs and things like that. And that's always something that I recommend to students, is get involved in everything you can, get involved in every club. When I was a student, I was in the Political Science Society. I did a show at the campus radio station. And these are how I made a lot of connections, and how I learned a lot of different cultures and things like that. And so it's always something that I highly recommend to students. We always have a lot of different celebrations and big parties throughout the year. Things like our Lunar New Year, our Diwali celebration, our big Christmas celebrations, things like that, so that we really make sure to have an exciting and vibrant campus life. It's always something I encourage students to participate in. Another thing that students always love to participate in is going out to watch the soccer games and the basketball games. We actually hosted the National Soccer Championship this year. Our men came in, I want to say it was like 4th place. I was really hoping they were going to win, so I'd get to brag again, because they did. They won in. Was it 2014? They were the national champs, and both our men and women were the Atlantic champs this year. Our soccer teams are absolutely amazing, and I know people coming from Latin America will get mad at me for calling it soccer, but that is what we call it here in Canada. And also our basketball teams are amazing too. It's always great to go out and get to watch the teams play. In terms of living in Cape Breton, we do have options available for you to live on campus. Different residence options, including dorm, apartment style, and private rooms. It's a very affordable cost, from $2,200 to $3,700 per term. And then on top of that, you would be paying for your meal plan as well. But we do also assist students with finding apartments off campus. So when students are looking for available apartments, we do maintain a database of apartments in Sydney and the surrounding communities as well, making sure that students have a safe, affordable place to live. Like I said, Cape Breton is a very affordable place to live. If a student is looking to share an apartment with some other fellow students, they're probably paying around $300 per month for that shared apartment or that shared house.
It's very affordable for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of course, we do require that students prove their English proficiency when they're applying to study at Cape Breton University. So we do accept IELTS, Duolingo, TOEFL, with the scores posted here. And for students that do need to improve their English, if they haven't reached that level on the IELTS, we do have English academic preparation programs available at our on-campus English program through ICAP Nova Scotia. And we also do have pathways through ILAC and some other schools in Canada as well.
So this is a good question, Joel. So can the students, for instance, we've seen that most of them, they wanted to start their pathway online through one of those schools. Mm-hmm. And that once they reach a certain level, they can either apply, use that diploma or that certificate from that school and apply directly for a letter of acceptance at Cape Breton, or even can they do like a one level of this ICAP program? Is that possible?
So there are kind of two different options. Either they can complete the program before applying to CBU, or they can apply to CBU with their letter of offer from the English Pathway program, and then we'll be able to give them. So the way that works is if they say they're going through ICAP or through ILAC and they've already been accepted to those schools, they can like send us a copy of their letter of acceptance from the English program, and then we'll give them a conditional letter of offer that says you're accepted to CBU under the condition that you complete your English pathway.
Fantastic.
Here's just a general breakdown of our program fees. We are a very affordable university. We try to make sure that students, when they're planning to study at Cape Breton University, that finances is not too difficult, with our undergraduate programs being around $18,500 per year. And then our post-baccalaureate diplomas, as I was talking about those a little bit, the full cost of those over 2 years is only $27,000. So we try to make sure that these programs are an affordable option for students, so that they're able to pay their fees and they're able to participate in their programs.
Joel, one of the important things, that we mentioned to students is like the difference between a college, like a polytechnic, that sort of education in comparison with a university, and how the professional career could be enhanced when they have like a university degree. When you compare the prices, all those fees for Cape Breton University with public colleges in other provinces, you start to see like it's very attractive for international students to come to Cape Breton University and complete their studies because they will receive like a university degree.
Exactly. So in terms of that price point, we have our university programs. We are a public university, so our public university programs price at around the same level as those private colleges in other parts of Canada. And what we see is, in terms of the employability, graduating from a public university versus a private college, employers tend to look at public university as being a higher level of study, as being a higher level of achievement. So sure. What we're really offering to students is that higher level of employability. So when someone who is looking to hire somebody sees two candidates, and one of them has graduated from a public university and the other has graduated from a private college, they tend to give a little bit more weight to the public university graduate, as it tends to be seen as a higher level of a study and a higher level of achievement.
Totally agree.
And I'm trying to think if I have another page, or if that might be the last one. No, that's everything that I wanted to present today. Just wondering if you have any kind of questions or anything like that I can help with.
Well, I think, Joel, the presentation was very, very good. Very explains everything that the students wanted to know. You touch the fees aspect. So when the student goes through the application process through Yaicos, they submit their application, all their transcript, their diploma, everything translated. Tell us more about the how do they pay the fees? What are the stages when it comes to paying?
Right. So when they're looking to submit their application, there is an application fee of $80. We do, of course, have promotions where you can waive that fee. So let me know if you're ever looking, if you're submitting your application, we might have a promotion on where we can waive that fee for you. And then in terms of paying your first year's fees, we don't require a fee, prepayment of your tuition fees. The way our requirements work is, if you're starting in September semester, your fees for that semester are due by the end of the month of September. Of course, what I always just personally recommend is that students make a fee deposit of one semester. And the reason for that is that it tends to help with the visa application process. So the way the Canadian government looks at a visa application, they tend to look at it and say, okay, has a student demonstrated financial capacity, and how have they done so? What we are able to do is, if you make a deposit of your first semesters of fees, we'll give you an official receipt of that payment, and you're able to give that to the Canadian government to say, here, look, I've already paid my first semester of fees. So that's going to help establish that that I should be able to get a study permit.
Yeah,
so although it's not something we require, it's always something we recommend.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying. It demonstrates a higher level of commitment when it comes to studying. Well, that's great. That's great.
Exactly.
Other than that, I mean, the accommodation, you explain all this, all the aspect, about accommodation. How far is the accommodation from the actual campus?
Oh, it's right on campus.
Which is great, sometimes students, they will save a lot of money when it comes to transportation. They will have like a more involvement, with the campus life, which is great. So I think all in all, Cape Breton University, as you explained through the whole presentation, is a small university which offers all the facilities, like high-tech facilities, very innovative and modern programs for international students to succeed in their career. So if they're looking for a university that is 100% committed to their success, Cape Breton is a great option.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And during the, there was a period during the pandemic where we were doing all of our courses by distance. What we've done during that time is done a lot of renovations on campus to create like we did renovations to some of our classrooms to increase the technology in the classrooms, to have more like smart board technology and cameras, so that we can have kind of mixed method options for students to be either on campus or off campus. And we did renovations to my favorite part of campus, which is the campus bar. So we did renovations there, and it's absolutely beautiful. Renovations to the basketball facilities. So like you said, we have an absolutely beautiful campus, and we've put a lot of money and work into adding different features so that students have a really great experience on campus. And because we are a relatively smaller campus, it is entirely connected. So students walking from one part of campus from one classroom to another classroom are able to do that entirely inside, which is a really nice feature.
Well, I just have two final thoughts. The first one is you're talking about all the investment the government is making on the campuses and the infrastructure, and this is something that I mention all the time to Latin American students, for them to know, like sometimes in Latin America, the public universities are like they're not well funded, to be honest. Not in every country, I'm not generalizing. So some countries, the public education is not well funded, where their private education, is like have better campuses, whereas in Canada it's the other way around. It's very, very difficult for a private university to keep up with the level of investment that the government is making on a yearly basis to improve those campuses. So if you're studying in a public university like Cape Breton University in Canada, you can rest assured that you're studying at the top of the top level of institutions worldwide. So it's a worldwide standard. So this is the first thing. And the second thing is like when you saw the fees, when you're doing your application through Yaicos, you won't pay the same thing. You won't have extra charges. This is important thing. Yaicos will guide you through the visa application process, will guide you through the university admission process, will guide you through the country adaptation information, to the city information, to everything you need for your experience to be the best. So, well, with that said, some student asked me, well, and then where Yaicos get their their benefits? Well, our benefits, when the students arrive to Cape Breton University, the university cover our honoraries. So you can rest assured as an international student that us as an agency are totally invested in your success, because if you don't go to Cape Breton University, your visa is rejected, or your admission process is not successful. I mean, basically we're wasting our time. So all in all, these are the two things that I wanted the students to know.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Well, Joel, thank you very much for your time. Enjoy your holiday season. I mean, all the information you've given is very, very helpful, and I think we have a student with you, and he's having a great time. He's from Chile, and hopefully we can have him for a future session.
Perfect. That sounds great.
Well, Joel, thank you very much for your time, and bye-bye. All the best. Take care.
Thank you so much. You too.